So, hey guys, Chelsea here. So, we learned yesterday that Shang's crew is going to get a 6+, a super evolution. And that's pretty exciting because not too long ago, Shang's crew was one of the best legends and he was it for a long time. And that's pretty rare, especially for a duo unit, because usually duo units are mainly subs. But Shang's crew managed to be very relevant as a captain for a long time. So let's reminisce a bit about that and then talk about possible improvements for this super evolution. I also want to give some props that they are doing Shang's crew. I think that's very fitting for this month, since we had Kid Luffy Legend, for example. So Shang's crew super evolution fits very well with that. I like when they manage to make themes out of months, and this month has been superb in terms of themes. But if you see the character list here, like by the time I upload this video, we'll already have the booster list out, so it will be 100% confirmed that Shang's crew is boosted. But yeah, here it is, and usually any weird legend without 6+ that is boosted in Treasure Map is getting a 6+ in the Kizuna, and we're getting 2 free copies from Treasure Map. And that's great for me because I lack exactly 2 copies, so Shang's crew will be rainbow by the time we get the super evolution, or I mean fully level limit broken. But yeah, Shang's crew duo unit, Slasher, Cerebral, Psy or Quick in duo form. Classes change a bit in solo form. The Psy unit keeps the same classes, but the Quick unit uses shooter instead of slashers. And that's pretty cool. Back in the day, you could do like Garp Challenge shooter teams using Shang's crew. I've done a few of those. And yeah, he was just so good that it just made a lot of sense. And yeah, like if we look at him through today's standards, it might be hard to understand how he was so good. He doesn't look that impressive anymore. But that also makes it kind of exciting to see how they will buff him, since CatDog was even worse off than Shang's crew, and they got one of the biggest buffs ever from their super evolution. But yeah, let's take a look at the duo captain ability. In duo form, Shang's crew used to boost crew's attack by 4.5 times, 1.2 times HP, quick side slots matching, 20% damage reduction, special bind resist by 10 turns, and also doing end of turn damage based on number of perfects. This hasn't seen much use since. I know that Kizuna Legend X-Rake has a similar mechanic, but I can't think of anybody else. But yeah, this ends up being pretty good end of turn damage, but it was mostly used to bypass resilience, which is becoming more and more relevant, I feel. So that's definitely nice for any captain to have. But yeah, even by today's standards, this is pretty decent. The main issue is that 4.5 times attack is not that great. And it's even worse when you think about that the solo forms is below 4 times captain, so not a lot at all. But yeah, this was really the first relevant legend that resisted special bind. And that really became a huge deal, since special bind is one of the most common debuffs. Shang's crew just handled that, and then he handled a lot more with the special as well, together with the end of turn damage. But yeah, Shang's special before is pretty unremarkable now, but it was great back then. 20% damage, HP reduction, ignoring defensive effects. 3.5 times chain lock for 3 turns, and becomes duo form for 3 turns. So yeah, basically just an HP cut and a chain lock. But 3.5 times chain lock was a big deal back when this unit released, and it remains decent to this day, to be honest. It's not awful, but obviously chain lock is not as desirable now. Everything is about stacking chain buffs, and you mainly want a chain boundary chain lock, not a normal chain lock. So if Shanks ends up keeping a chain lock, that might end up becoming a problem. At least for their viability, so to say. But yeah, Kumi's abilities. Shanks does resist special bind completely in his sailor, just as he does as his captain. And he also gets extra damage when hitting last out of all available characters. Switch. This was also great back in the day. This was like amazing before we got Roddy and Whitebeard, and it's become a bit more forgotten. But addition slot gets matching and 1.5 times attack for 1 turn. Like, it's crazy that we got Roddy Whitebeard after that was the same, but added War Boost and also had a Super Swap. So we see how Shanks Crew can compete after a 6+ in that department, but this was super good, and the general archetype of Switch is still really good, getting guaranteed matching slots as well as nice bonuses. So, but yeah, but at the time it released, it was basically a unique swap, so it was amazing, to say the least. But yeah, let's talk a bit now about how they can improve Shanks Crew. We can talk a bit about the captain first. And one thing they could do, because end of turn damage is only for Shanks Crew really, they could give it to the single forms as well to open up for wave clearing by hitting a few perfects. In order to make that work, you need to do some seed reduction too, but that's pretty common nowadays with new units or buffed units with Super Evolution level limit break, so I can definitely see that happening. Other than that, like, maybe a few more matching orbs will be nice. Damage reduction is fine, special bind reduction is fine. Like, they could maybe add some other goodie, but I don't think the captain ability is the thing to focus on. It's still pretty solid, it just lacks the numbers. Like, just make it up to 5.25 times and it's fine. What really needs changes though is the special. I have a few ideas. First, I think they will keep the chain lock. It will be better if they turn it into chain boundary, of course. But I have some idea how they could incorporate that, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, maybe a chain lock, maybe get it up to 4 times for 3 turns. That will be pretty damn amazing still. Something they should really add is removing special bind with the special. They should have honestly already done that before, since it resists special bind anyway. Just make him remove 10 turns of special bind with his special. I think that makes logical sense. One thing I also think they could add is some base attack boost. That's very common nowadays, like the Versus Shanks got it. The fun thing, if they do add a base attack boost though, is that you couldn't use the Shanks against local sea monster, which might end up being why they don't do it, but it will work pretty well, especially together with Shanks as Sailor to make him do more damage. So he could boost his own base attack and do even more damage. Just an idea I have. Other than that, maybe add an ore boost since his swap handles attack boost. And if you have an ore boost, maybe you can buff the existing ore boost. I think something like that will be cool. As for the swap, like Shanks Crew should get a super swap like CatDog did. My idea is first all orbs matching, like same as Roddy Whitebeard. 2 times attack boost, like same thing as Roddy Whitebeard. But I feel like there has to be something more, and I was thinking a bit about what cool thing they could do. And my great idea, which will definitely not happen, but will be really cool, is that for 1 turn, when you use his super swap, any chain lock special you use is turned into a chain boundary. I think that would be really cool. You both have access to the chain lock, but also a chain boundary, and it will be a really high chain boundary, because even if they don't buff Shanks Crew's chain lock, like, it's not like they're going to make it weaker, and a 3.5 times chain boundary will be really, really good. And yeah, that's just the idea I have. Don't think they'll do it, but if they did, Shanks Crew will see legit uses against Super Boss, because chain boundary is really valuable. And sometimes you could fit him in for like the special bind or the end of turn damage, stuff like that. But yeah, let me know how you would like to improve Shanks Crew. We of course have PvP as well. I haven't thought about how to improve him, but yeah, just make the ability better, make the special a bit better, make him better on defense, like maybe focus on the slasher and cerebral part a bit more. But yeah, I don't have much to say about that. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.